Right now, at this very moment, you might be standing at the edge of the most important transformation of your life, and you don't even realize it. Carl Jung called it the final phase, that mysterious period where everything you thought you knew begins to crumble, making way for who you're truly meant to become. If you've been feeling restless, questioning everything, or sensing that something fundamental needs to change, this video might explain exactly what's happening to you. We're diving deep into one of Carl Jung's most profound psychological discoveries, the transformation that happens right before your life completely changes. Stay until the end, because I'll share the 5 unmistakable signs that you're in this final phase and what you must do to successfully navigate it. Chapter 1. The Crisis Before the Dawn. Let me start with a story. In 1913, Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, experienced something terrifying. At the age of 38, successful and respected, he began having vivid, disturbing visions. He felt like he was going insane. His world was falling apart from the inside out, but Jung wasn't losing his mind. He was undergoing what he would later call individuation, the process of becoming whole. And what he discovered during this dark period would change psychology forever. Because Jung realized something crucial, the greatest transformations of our lives are always preceded by a period of complete disintegration. Think about it. A caterpillar doesn't just grow wings and fly away. Inside that chrysalis, it literally dissolves into genetic soup before reorganizing into something entirely new. The old form must completely break down for the new one to emerge. And you, my friend, are no different. Jung discovered that every human being goes through several major transformations in life. But there's one transformation that's more significant than all the others, what he called the second birth or the individuation process. It's the moment when you stop living according to other people's expectations and start living as your authentic self. But here's what most people don't understand. Before this transformation can happen, you must go through what Jung called the confrontation with the shadow, a period where everything you've built your identity on is questioned and challenged. It's uncomfortable, it's confusing, and it's absolutely necessary. If this is resonating with you, hit that like button. It helps more people find this message when they need it most. And subscribe because we're just getting started. Chapter 2. WA Transformation Feels Like Destruction. Let's talk about why this final phase feels so terrible. I mean, if transformation is supposed to be positive, why does it feel like your life is falling apart? Jung explained this through what he called the persona, the mask we wear for the world. From childhood, we develop this persona based on what our parents wanted, what society expected, what would keep us safe and accepted. You became the good student, the responsible employee, the dutiful son or daughter, the successful professional, the strong one who never complains. Whatever role you were given, you played it well. So well that you forgot you were playing a role at all. Double quotes. But here's the problem. The persona isn't you. It's a construct, a survival mechanism. And at some point, usually in your late 20s, 30s, or 40s, your true self starts pushing against it. Double quotes. And that push feels like crisis. Double quotes. Let me share something personal. 3 years ago, I had what looked like a perfect life on paper. Good job, financial security, nice apartment. But I was miserable. I couldn't figure out why. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with this crushing anxiety, this sense that I was living someone else's life. I thought something was wrong with me. But Jung would say nothing was wrong, something was finally going right. My authentic self was trying to break through. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. The final phase feels like destruction because, in a way, it is. Your false self is dying so your true self can be born. The life you built on other people's expectations is crumbling so you can build one on your own foundation. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't random suffering. This is purposeful transformation. And your psyche is orchestrating it for your benefit, even though it doesn't feel that way. Drop a comment below if you've experienced this, that moment when everything seemed to be falling apart. I read every comment, and your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. Chapter 3. The 5 Unmistakable Signs You're in the Final Phase. All right, let's get practical. How do you know if you're actually in this final phase of transformation, or if you're just having a bad week? Jung identified specific psychological markers. I've organized them into 5 unmistakable signs. Sign 1. The death of distractions. The first sign is that nothing distracts you anymore. Things that used to numb you, scrolling social media, binge-watching shows, shopping, partying, even success at work, suddenly feel hollow and meaningless. Jung called this the loss of interest in outer life. Your psyche is withdrawing energy from external pursuits and turning it inward. Because deep work needs to be done, you find yourself craving solitude, wanting to be alone with your thoughts. This isn't depression, though it can feel similar. It's your soul demanding attention it's been denied for too long. For me, this showed up as losing interest in career achievements that once motivated me. Promotion stopped mattering. Recognition felt empty. My psyche was saying, "We're done playing this game." Sign 2. The return of old dreams and desires. The second sign is strange but powerful. You start remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Old dreams resurface. Maybe you wanted to be an artist, a teacher, a traveler. Maybe you loved writing or music or building things with your hands. These weren't just childish fantasies. They were messages from your authentic self. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. In the final phase, imagination returns to show you the path forward. You might find yourself drawn to things you haven't thought about in decades. This isn't nostalgia. It's your psyche retrieving lost fragments of yourself that need to be integrated. Sign 3. Relationships begin to shift or end. This one's tough. The third sign is that your relationships start changing, and not always in comfortable ways. People you've known for years suddenly feel distant. Friendships that sustained you no longer make sense. You might even question romantic relationships or family dynamics you've accepted for decades. Here's why. As you begin to honor your authentic self, you become incompatible with relationships built on your false self. The person you were pretending to be attracted to certain people. The person you actually are may need different connections. The meeting of 2 personalities is like the contact of 2 chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. This doesn't mean you'll lose everyone. Many relationships will deepen and become more authentic. But some will naturally fall away, and that's okay. You're making space for connections aligned with who you're becoming. Sign 4. Intense dreams and inner experiences. The fourth sign is that your inner world becomes incredibly active. Vivid dreams, powerful intuitions, synchronicities that seem too meaningful to be coincidence. Jung devoted his life to studying this. He discovered that when you're undergoing major transformation, your unconscious mind communicates through symbols and dreams. You might dream about death, but it's not literal. It represents the death of your old identity. You might dream about being pregnant or giving birth, representing something new emerging. You might dream about being lost or searching for something, your psyche, navigating the transformation. Pay attention to these dreams. Jung said they're your unconscious mind's way of guiding you through the transformation. Keep a dream journal. Your dreams are speaking the language your conscious mind hasn't learned to hear yet. Sign 5. The emergence of your shadow. The fifth and perhaps most challenging sign. You start seeing parts of yourself you've been denying for years. Jung called this the shadow, all the traits, feelings, and desires you've repressed because they didn't fit your persona. Maybe you've always been the nice one, but you're discovering anger. Maybe you've been the strong one, but you're finding vulnerability. Maybe you've been the rational one, but emotions are flooding in. This is terrifying because you're meeting parts of yourself you've spent a lifetime avoiding. But Jung insisted you cannot become whole by rejecting parts of yourself. You must integrate them. The shadow isn't your enemy. It's your power waiting to be reclaimed. Now that you know the signs, let's talk about what to do when you recognize yourself in this final phase. Chapter 4. Navigating the Transformation. Okay, so you've recognized the signs. You're in the final phase. Everything's uncomfortable, uncertain, and honestly kind of scary. What do you actually do? First, let me tell you what not to do, because this is where most people sabotage their transformation. What not to do? Don't make massive external changes as a reaction to internal pressure. This is crucial. When people feel this transformation happening, they panic and blow up their lives. They quit their job without a plan, leave their marriage impulsively, move to another country on a whim, ... Jung warned against this. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Sometimes dramatic life changes are just another escape from the real work. ... The transformation happens inside first. The external changes come naturally afterward, when you're acting from wisdom rather than panic. ... Don't try to rush through it. You can't microwave enlightenment. This process has its own timeline, and fighting it only prolongs it. ... And don't try to positive think your way through it. The final phase isn't about bypassing difficult emotions with affirmations. It's about facing everything you've avoided. What to do? The 4 pillars of navigation. Pillar 1. Create sacred solitude. Jung emphasized the necessity of solitude for transformation. Not isolation born from depression, but intentional sacred solitude where you can hear yourself think. Create daily non-negotiable alone time. Even 20 minutes. No phone, no input, no distraction. Just you and your thoughts. This is where you'll process what's happening. ... Start a journal specifically for this period. Write stream of consciousness. Don't edit. Let whatever wants to emerge, emerge. Jung called this active imagination, giving your unconscious a voice. ... When I was going through my transformation, I started waking up at 5 a.m. not to be productive, but to sit in silence. No meditation technique, no goal. Just sitting with whatever came up. Those hours saved my sanity. Pillar 2. Befriend your shadow. Remember the shadow we talked about? Now's the time to actually work with it. ... Try this. Make a list of qualities you strongly dislike in other people. Whatever makes you feel judgmental or triggered. Here's the uncomfortable truth. These are often projections of your own shadow. If you hate arrogance in others, there's arrogance you're denying in yourself. If you despise weakness, there's vulnerability you're rejecting. If you can't stand selfishness, there are needs you're not allowing yourself to have. This isn't about judging yourself. It's about integration. Ask, how might this quality, in the right dose and context, actually serve me? One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The shadow becomes your ally when you acknowledge it. Pillar 3. Follow the symptoms. Your psyche is trying to guide you, but not through logical thoughts. It speaks through symptoms. That anxiety you feel before certain obligations, that's information. The excitement that comes up around certain activities, that's information. The heaviness in your chest when you're living inauthentically, information. Instead of medicating or ignoring these feelings, Get curious. Ask, what are you trying to tell me? Jung believed symptoms were the psyche's way of getting your attention. Start making small adjustments based on what your symptoms tell you. If Sunday night dread is crushing, maybe it's time to reevaluate your work. If you light up when you're being creative, maybe that needs more space in your life. Notice I said small adjustments. This isn't about impulsive life upheaval. It's about gradually aligning your external life with your internal truth. Pillar 4. Find your symbolic expression. Jung was huge on this. During transformation, you need a way to express what's happening that transcends words. Jung himself carved in stone, painted mandalas, and built structures during his transformation. He wasn't an artist. He was expressing his inner world symbolically. Find your medium. It could be painting, music, writing poetry, dancing, building something with your hands, even arranging flowers or cooking. The medium doesn't matter. What matters is that it allows your unconscious to express itself. Don't worry about being good at it. This isn't for Instagram. This is for your psyche. Let yourself create badly. Let yourself be messy. You're externalizing internal transformation. I started painting during my transformation, and I'm terrible at it. But when I look at those paintings now, I can see my entire journey. They're like a visual diary of my unconscious mind. Chapter 5. What happens after the transformation? So what's on the other side of this? What actually changes when you successfully navigate this final phase? Let me be clear, your problems don't disappear. Life doesn't become easy, but something fundamental shifts. The 3 gifts of transformation. Gift 1. Authentic energy. First, you get your energy back. All the energy you were using to maintain your false self is suddenly available. You'll be amazed at what you can do when you're not exhausting yourself being someone you're not. Tasks that drained you become effortless. Relationships become nourishing instead of depleting. You find reserves of creativity and passion you forgot you had. Gift 2. Inner authority. Second, you develop what Jung called inner authority. You stop looking outside yourself for validation, direction, or permission. You know what's right for you, even when others disagree. You can disappoint people without falling apart. You can pursue your path without needing everyone's approval. This doesn't mean you become selfish or isolated. It means you become grounded in yourself, which actually makes you more available for genuine connection. Gift 3. Meaning and purpose. Third, and perhaps most importantly, your life gains coherent meaning. You're no longer asking, what should I do with my life? Because you're living it. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. After transformation, you're finally exercising that privilege. This doesn't mean you have to become famous or change the world in obvious ways. It means your daily life feels meaningful because it's actually yours. So here we are. If you've made it this far in the video, something in you recognizes this message. You're either in the final phase, about to enter it, or you've been through it and you're remembering. Let me say this. What you're going through isn't a breakdown. It's a breakthrough trying to happen. The discomfort isn't evidence that something's wrong. It's evidence that something's finally going right. Jung spent his life studying transformation because he believed it was humanity's most important work. Not building empires or accumulating wealth or achieving fame, but becoming whole, becoming real. And that's what's being asked of you right now. The old you is dying. Let it. The false self is crumbling. Let it. Everything that isn't really you is falling away. Let it. What's emerging is the person you were always meant to be. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that your psyche knows what it's doing, even when your mind doesn't understand. Jung's final message to the world was this: your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakes. It's time to wake up.